They are whispering.
La la la.
Here we are.
Red lights everywhere.
Hello.
We're another idea.
A podcast for
Pipe down,
creatives
pipe down.
and entrepreneurs.
Who just want to level up their business.
Yeah, they're really taking over.
I'm
What's
so
happening?
sorry, can't help it.
Podcast royalty in the house.
We love it. No, we might as well start it. We've got the amazing Vicki and Eddie. From
Hello. From
Shoot, Edit, Chat, Repeat.
Yeah.
rolls off the tongue.
I'll always have to think, which one comes first? Shoot or edit? Edit, shoot, edit. Yeah, that was my brain processing all that. Anyway, we've got you amazing ladies in the house. First of all, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
As Sam said, we've got
Very
royalty,
excited.
podcast royalty in the house.
We've both been on your podcast.
Yes.
You have.
Yeah.
Obviously our best guest ever.
Yeah. VIP guests.
Yeah.
Tick that question off.
And I can't wait to start really and really dive in and just
Have we got any house admin to do first?
Yes, we do, but yeah.
Oh
we do.
yeah. Just share it for us, guys.
Yeah.
If you like what these guys are going to say and bring to the conversation, just give us a bit of a shout out. You have to tell people, don't you, these days to do it.
All
You
the
do.
time.
You have to remind them.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because it's free educational resourcing and the least they can do is share it.
Yeah.
Share,
So,
rate,
but
review,
it
subscribe.
helps, doesn't it? It really
That's
helps. Do you want to intro it? Do you want to just?
No, Eddie's trying.
No.
I can't help myself talking.
Eddie's checked out.
Eddie's
Podcast. He's
there.
like,
I'm ready.
I'm like, yeah, we are recording everywhere. It's good.
Yeah, we're good. We are Another Idea,
We are. We're a podcast for creatives and entrepreneurs.
who want to level up their
I think we've done that twice now, but it's fine. It's okay.
I don't think we did.
No, we did, but it's okay.
Did we?
Do you want me to do
It
it for you?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
didn't do it,
doesn't matter.
You didn't do it.
Come
Do
on.
it again.
Okay. We're Another Idea.
A podcast for creatives and
Who just want to level up their business.
Yeah.
Yes. Right, let's go. Come on. Where are we starting? Should we just give a bit of background first?
Yes.
Girls,
Indeed.
would you like to introduce yourselves to the audience? Who wants to go first?
No, I don't.
Pick
No.
scissors
I'll
stone
go.
for it.
Okay, I'm Vicki. Nice. Do you want my personal intro or like joint intro?
Wherever you want to take it.
So I have been in business since 2008. It's a long time. I started as a family photographer. I started doing branding photography. It wasn't really called that, but back in 2011, and that's sort of taken over from the family photography now. We set up our podcast in the beginning of, I've forgotten the year.
2018.
2018. I was going to say 2008. We would have been well ahead of the time.
We were 12.
2018. And we ran it for 5 years. I mean, it's not, we might come back for the odd episode. Shoot, edit, chat, repeat, as you said before. And we got to 250,000 downloads, which we're very proud
incredible.
of. 101 episodes. Travel around the world.
Let's not play down. You were ahead of the curve, really.
Yeah.
I think
Really?
we were. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
you were.
I think we were like,
think you were.
it's now or never. So,
Yeah.
So Vicky listened to podcasts all the time. So I was like, I knew that she'd love the idea. So we
Yeah,
just
'cause
went
there
for
weren't.
it.
There still aren't a huge amount of photography podcasts out there.
No.
and you really did kind of just
Yeah.
be you were the spearhead or the forefront of photography podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
Well,
you
I
are or
think
not,
that
but it's certainly seen
there
that
were
way.
others, but they were very techie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we wanted to be the antithesis of that.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Antithesis.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
quite a big word for me. I'm so really sorry. Shall I do my intro?
Yes.
My name's Eddie Judd, and I'm a photographer. And no, I started in family photography, similar time to Vicky, and I then did 10 years in weddings, in and out of weddings, and then corporate's always been there, but personal branding has become a massive thing as well, and also alongside the training that we do, and I teach photographers how to have good workflow in Lightroom. So if you don't know where your Lightroom catalogue is, I know, but there's so many people that don't actually know, you wouldn't believe it. So I'm the one to help you, basically.
Absolutely.
So, and you wouldn't believe how many photographers, and there's no
Really?
judgment.
Yeah.
They don't even know where their raws are going some of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm the one to help you sort all your photos, so
Yeah.
you never lose them. You never get that client going, oh, but I need that photo high res, and you go, oh, I've deleted it because I thought it was in Lightroom. No judgment. I'm here to help you. I promise.
Because we've all been there as a photographer. That is it's
Yeah.
it's a nerve-wracking
It's
time when
strange.
you
Yes.
think you've lost or
Yeah.
deleted an image.
Exactly, yeah. But
I know
yeah,
what
we,
that's like.
I probably should have said as well. So I've been training photographers. I forgot to say that, but I went straight into the podcast. Training photographers, business and marketing for about 8 years or so. Run retreats, group programs, workshops, and now I've pivoted a bit in the last year, and now I'm training entrepreneurs on visibility and personal branding as well. So I've sort of added that
Smashing
to my business.
it.
So yeah,
Anything you don't do?
tightrope walking. I don't know where that
I
came
used
from.
to be
amazing.
really good at hula hooping, but that's fallen off. Yeah.
So how did you two meet then?
We met on
A
Twitter.
dating app? No.
Twitter.
Twitter. We met on Twitter.
You actually met on Twitter. I
We
thought
did
you
meet
were
on Twitter.
joking.
No, we actually met on Twitter.
That's not Bumble.
Good old days.
Oh, Match.
It was 2010. I remember it well. But literally, it was when back then. No, it's just
We're not that old, by the way.
I mean, you're talking nearly 13 years ago we first met. But there weren't all the Facebook groups and all the networking amongst
True,
photographers.
true.
So it was very, no one really wanted to
Quite
share.
insular.
Really insular.
Yeah.
And,
No one wanted to share their secrets.
Yeah,
You
and
know, that kind
the
of thing.
reason I reached out to Eddie, I don't know if you know this, I picked up a card in a local soft play centre. So a card, and I was like, oh, she looks nice. Had a little photo of her on. Found her on
business
Twitter.
card. Yeah.
And I messaged her and just said, hi, and we were literally down the road from each other, competitors, because we're both family photographers. And I just said, it'd be really nice to meet up. She was like, oh, it's really nice for someone to be friendly.
Wow,
That's in the
yeah.
same. And then we just went for a drink.
There'll be some like young 20-somethings listening to this that are going, what a business card?
What is that?
So what is
Yeah.
that? Like what, you put your stuff on the card?
I know.
What, on print?
Still have to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Incredible.
Yeah, it was quite funny because when we both met up, it was like our first podcast interview. I just remember you asking me
I
lots of
was like-
questions.
every photographer I'd sort of spoken to, like I say, had been quite cagey. So I was like, oh my God, I can actually talk about all of this stuff. Like, it was brilliant. So,
yeah, and I've always, my heart's on my sleeve, and I'm happy to talk about whatever. You know, if you want to talk about,
But,
my
like,
childhood
if you
or
hadn't have
something.
been, if you had been closed off, that relationship would never have happened.
No.
At all.
And we never saw each other as
And
competitors
look at-
as such.
Just look at like the journey that's taken you on,
Yeah.
just that kind of reaching out on Twitter
Yeah.
because you picked up a business card.
Yeah, I know, isn't it crazy?
So you can tie it back to. It's incredible,
Yeah.
really.
And then I kept on presenting ideas to Vicky, going, oh, we could do this together, and none of them were any good. And then eventually I suggested a podcast. She was like, oh, yes.
you've got my
And then
interest.
Vicky just drives the whole thing, basically. She's like, right, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly, so, and the same as our retreats now, which we've got a retreat later this month.
Amazing.
Branding retreat where we're teaching photographers. We've got 12 people on there, and we're hoping that that's going to carry on going as well, because we're really enjoying organising that, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, we've got big plans for the next
World domination,
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. We want to be like the forefront of branding photography education. So,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just like we talk about it quite a lot about like the importance of networking and connections, especially when you're self-employed and you're on your own, and you've got your head in the head on your desk, like trying to figure out what to do. And sometimes you just need that other person on the end of the phone or a WhatsApp message to say, do this, or just chill out, stop stressing. Like, you're being an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hope
We
everyone
I say that
We all
to her
do
all the time. Yeah.
I hope everyone does have that, because I can't imagine, like if something this is what she used to say, talk into the microphone. Talk
See
into
how
the
she was
Okay.
going off to the side?
You're all right.
Thinking
Yeah.
exactly the same
She
thing.
always
Tell
tells
us
us
not.
that.
No, I go like that. I get all like,
Ooh, full of me neck.
okay, that's better. That's better.
Oh, you always
terrible.
knock
Nearly
tea
got
everywhere.
tears. I've forgotten where I was now. I hope everyone has got that, because it's so important when you run your own business that you have someone. If you have like a difficult shoot, or just you're like, what do I do about this? Do I, just having, you don't necessarily want to put it in a Facebook group or put it into a public forum. You just need to ask someone's opinion. And normally yourself, but it's just getting that validation, like, am I doing the right thing? So it's so important in business, I think, to have that.
Definitely.
That community.
Yeah, and I think that's why one of the main things when we started the podcast, we wanted people to understand that we were open and ready to talk, and actually it was okay, because there's a generation of photographers that are so, oh no, I'm not going to share my secrets, like I said, and we've never been like that. We want this industry to be thriving and people to be successful, and it's not that race to the bottom. So that's why we did it. So
No, it's amazing, and it's so good to hear you say that. But at the same time, when you ladies started the podcast, that sort of mindset, it just wasn't around really. So it's just refreshing really to hear that you had that literally from the get go. and even listening to the podcasts, it's just so good to hear how conversational you two are, because you're clearly great friends.
Yeah,
and
Most of the time.
hate her guts.
and just bounce off each other so well. So yeah.
Something happens when we start recording.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that in our last episode. Like sometimes we'd, you know when you're just thinking, oh, I feel a bit like, don't feel that energetic. As soon as we'd press record, I'm sure you guys feel the same. Something happens and you're like, oh, and you just feel sparky.
Yeah.
And we definitely get that energy from each other. It would be strange.
Yeah, just show offs, really, aren't we?
Basically.
Yeah.
But you started a podcast. What was the sort of like motivation behind it? I know you said you wanted to educate other photographers. Anything else that you sort of like had in there when you were sort of like talking to each other and trying to convince each other that yes, we can do this?
Yeah.
I think we wanted to take not just the business. I listen to a lot of business podcasts, and I listen to a lot of more conversational, like funny podcasts. I'm not saying that we are funny in any means. But
What are you talking about? We're hilarious.
And we wanted to kind of bring the two together. So it was business, but people actually had fun listening to it, because I know sometimes you can listen to a business podcast and then end it feeling like, oh God, I've just got more stuff to do now, or people get that imposter syndrome. And we wanted to make it sound very conversational, very approachable. Like, you can do this. You know, we're going to give you lots of great business advice, but this is all achievable for you. And that's what the response we got from people is. They felt sort of less alone, and that
It makes it relatable.
Yeah.
I think
And-
sometimes a business podcast, if they take themselves too seriously, you can.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can just switch off.
You do.
I switch off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
There
just
isn't a
very
little bit of-
monotone.
Yeah,
and-
we talk all the time about, even on the last one we did earlier today, I was like, oh God, I messed up a few times, but I made a bit of a joke of myself for doing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I have to remind myself that it's that makes it engaging
Exactly.
and endearing, is because people then
Definitely.
go,
It did
God, he's
take-
messed up, but
It
it's
did
like
take
made a laugh
us,
of it.
yeah, it did take us a
You can't
while
take
to
yourself too
realise
seriously.
it was okay to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
The amount of times we edited them out, and then it was like, oh,
Well, we've
just
had
leave it.
we've had guests
Yeah.
going, but you can edit them out, can't you? And we're like, no, we don't.
No.
do that.
We don't do it.
We just roll through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it did.
Well, now you tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Best
say
behaviour.
that thing we were talking
Best
about
behaviour.
earlier. No, but when we first started podcasts as well, that one of the motivations for us was we thought, right, this is a great marketing tool. You know, obviously podcasts were in 2018 were still quite new. People didn't even know how to find a podcast. But we were like, okay, this is a new way of marketing. I was marketing my store with my presets and my training. Vicki was mentoring and marketing that. So we were hoping it was good marketing for us. But then it became something else, didn't it? And we kind of rolled with it, and it's just created this massive brand for us, which we absolutely love. Yeah, I thought you had something to say.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say something as well.
I can't do it.
Yes.
No, actually, nothing. You said.
No, okay, great.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Yeah. Do you,
I got it right.
was it powerful marketing wise for you? I know it kind
so
of
well.
and
So
also
that's
and also
what- yeah.
where did it go, like, that you didn't expect it to? Like, what was how did it evolve over those 4 or 5 years that you almost, because you kind of go into it with with a bit of naivety,
Yeah,
a bit of,
absolutely.
like, totally unaware as to what's going to happen. Oh, we'll just do this podcast, but then
Yeah.
to stick at it for 5 years is incredible, really, and
Yeah.
to keep showing up. I know you did kind of seasons, but you still did like
Yeah,
long
we
seasons
slowed
with a lot
down.
of-
We
a
slowed.
lot of
We
episodes.
realised we couldn't do it once a week like we thought we were going to.
We did about 30 the first year, and then it got a few less each
Yeah.
year. But we'd still come back and do our
Yeah.
series. So yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier, just about the marketing. Yes, I think it was a good marketing tool. I think we could have done things differently, and I think
You got
we
your
would,
notebook ready?
we would.
Yeah,
It's coming, it's coming.
I'll make
No,
notes.
you guys are doing
I've got my
good.
notes. Come on, let's get as much shit out of these guys as we can for us.
Squeeze it.
By shit, I mean
squeeze
like
it.
gold. Don't mean shit.
In fact,
I
we're
mean
going to
gold.
lock him up in that cupboard over there and just keep them. That's it. You're never
Oh,
leaving
quite
Derby.
flattered.
We were chatting about this on the train on the way up, and I think we started it thinking, right, yeah, it'd be good marketing. We thought everyone kind of knew that we were knowledgeable, but instead of us showing that on the podcast, we just interviewed people and with hindsight, we should have done more solo episodes and shown that we were the experts in it as well, because I think we were asking questions a lot for our listeners, but it made it look like we needed the answers too. We didn't know. So I don't know, maybe that's not how it came across, but I think right
Show
from the
more
beginning.
of ourselves,
Yes.
man.
Ourselves,
So
yeah.
my advice would
Scrap
definitely
off
be
the guests. In fact,
go home,
Eddie and
girls,
Vicki,
go
you can
home.
go. Me and Sam, we've got this.
Yeah.
I think because we were asking a lot of.
It's strange that you say that though, because actually, when you look at the stats, and we've done it before, like the ones that me and you have done on our own,
are the ones
do
that...
not
Yeah.
the front
Yeah,
runners, but
same.
they're definitely higher than the average.
Yeah, our last episode has done really, really well.
Yeah,
that's-
and our
we
solo
ran-
episode, we only did, out of 101 episodes, we did 2 solo episodes, 1 each, and they've done really well. And
Yeah.
everyone said, we love that, do more. And then we finished the podcast. But it took
Yeah, we hear
us-
what you're saying. Thanks for your feedback. We're off.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
The bits at the end it got longer and longer. It used to be like 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
it'd be like half an hour. So,
And I think we grew in confidence. I think at the beginning, we were saying this in the train, because I was like, but we were confident going into it. But I think in that sort of public forum, like we could stand in front of a group and I could stand on my workshops and be like, I know I'm knowledgeable and I can train you and teach you. But in that public forum to thousands of people, I think we didn't have the confidence at the beginning. We were like, we need to get experts in, we talk to them. And it was only towards the end we were like, actually, we do know this, and people are really enjoying us
Yeah.
giving our wisdom too. So yeah, we grew in confidence during the 5 years as well. But I kind of wish we had done that from the beginning. And the other thing is, I wish we'd had products that we were selling from the beginning. Like I just had a retreat that I was running once a year, which is quite niche, down in Sussex. Not everyone around the world can get to that.
Yeah.
You had your presets, which again, we didn't really mention.
not really.
And we didn't sell. We were so British and female
Yeah.
about it. We were like, we
We
can't
were.
sell on the
It
podcast.
is,
Yeah.
that is a very
It's,
British trait.
Yeah.
we thought
You know, if it
people
was
would
an
get
American
annoyed.
podcast, you'd be straight in.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
set, like,
Straight in with
they're
an
like,
ad
there's-
right at the
there's no-
beginning, and we were.
no holds
Yeah, we're
barred,
like, we
is
don't
there?
want to be too pushy.
No, we'd sometimes right at the end go, shameless plug, by the way. Right at the end
It'd
of
be,
like an hour
it'd be
and a half.
lovely if you could just go and have a look.
Right at the
Pop
end,
along, yeah.
like before
When
when
they've
people
already-
are
when they're already
clocked
switched off.
Yeah. So I think we got a lot better at marketing ourselves towards the end. And thank goodness, I think the last 10 episodes do have ads from us of stuff that we're selling. And I wish we'd done that.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, lockdown helped us because it got to the point, because we were going and doing interviews with people wherever we could. And I was always very much, no, we need to do it in person. I'm not doing it online, not doing it on Zoom. And then lockdown came, we had to start doing it on Zoom. And that also gave us the time to design the branding course that we did. We just wouldn't have had time to do it as, with our work and recording the episodes and everything. So actually having that time from lockdown, and then we realised how powerful it was having a product to sell. So those first couple of years, we wish we'd had that. But
Fun enough, a listener actually said, because I was like, I just wish we made a bit more money from it because we love doing it.
Yeah.
I just wish it was more financially viable because it's stopping us doing other stuff in our business. And she actually said, but you don't have anything for us to buy. I went, that's a really good point. Like we had, like I said, some more niche stuff, but not everyone can afford to spend, that money on a retreat or not necessarily needed presets. We needed a product suite there that people could go, yes, which is what you guys are doing now.
Yeah.
I wish we'd had that right from the, because people are still listening to the episodes
It's that
from
balance,
5
though,
years
isn't it? It's
ago.
really hard to get the timing right, isn't it? Like in hindsight, we could have probably filmed that earlier, but at the same time, you kind of got to build your audience a little bit
Chicken
first.
or the egg, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, it's like which when do you do it?
yeah.
There's no right time or wrong time, is there? I suppose it's just about.
Yeah.
It's just we're now at the stage where we're like, right, okay, we've been going for like 6-7 months. It's made 0 pennies. Well, no, we've had a few days here, haven't we, where people have come out.
Well, let's not lie. A
We've
podcast
spent
is
it
not a
all.
money maker.
It's not. But that's not why we're doing it. We do.
You can't do it for
because
money.
we do it because we love it. We
Yeah.
love the conversations, but we are also doing it from a marketing point of view as
Yeah,
well. And
exactly.
it'd be nice to get to a stage where we can bring some value to people and they give us some money for doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But that's coming.
Yeah.
And we just need to make a bit more effort and get that off the ground quicker.
Yeah.
But
Got to put
do
in
what
the
you can do.
groundwork first.
That's
and
it.
then,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You said one part of your question was, did anything surprise us?
Yeah.
I think what we were surprised about, it was more of a passion project for us. We loved doing it. And then once we realised how much work it was, that's when we were like, we need to make some money. But we were surprised how big the brand would get. And we ended up with like Panasonic approaching us saying, can we sponsor it? And things like that. So we weren't...
Have you got a contact for those guys?
We were so lucky with our sponsors. I think because, like you said, we were there right at the forefront and at the right time.
Yeah.
And because we were so niche, we did have people going, have you heard that podcasts sometimes have sponsors? And we were like, yes, please. So we were lucky in that respect. And then later on, when people like Panasonic came along, we were like, wow, just blew us away. It really did. So it's really helped us to especially Vicky, who's properly business minded. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yes,
you know, she's like, no, you know, we need to try and make this viable as well. You know, not just love it.
Yeah.
You know, for 5 years you can't do something and just do it because it's a vanity project. So yeah. No, we've really enjoyed it, and it has been worth it. And like I said, we might have stopped the podcast at the moment, but the brand isn't.
You can
gone.
tell from you can tell very quickly into the episodes that you both enjoy doing it, and you're not just there just for, you know, just to make up the numbers or
no, just
make
to
money.
get our voice
You're there
heard.
because it's clearly
I love the sound of my own voice.
No, it has. It's been a huge success, and I hope you can both step back from it now and realise that it has been a success.
I
think
Sam.
we're all guilty.
Thank you, Sam.
We're all guilty, aren't we? I was chatting to my mate yesterday. I was chatting to actually Max, who came on the podcast of the week, talking about sometimes we're all guilty of not really reflecting and going, oh, actually no, we have done all right. Look where we've done. And I'd say to him, I find myself in this place, in this studio, going, oh God, I'm stressing. I'm worried about this. We need to make more money. I've got bills going out now. But then I have to remind myself, I'm like, God, there are photographers that would probably looking at me going, I want that. How do I get that?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, no, come on, just got to refocus.
Yeah.
Keep pushing in the right direction, and it'll come around eventually.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to look
Yeah,
at
of course
people
it
that are
is.
maybe
Yeah.
a step ahead. But and then you forget the amount of people exactly
Yeah.
that are looking at you going, oh my God, this is amazing.
If you were starting out today as a photographer, would you recommend doing podcasting or not?
For the listeners out there, Eddie is shaking her head left to right.
I mean, you have to have a clear strategy on why you're doing it. I don't think, say if you're a wedding photographer and you're just doing a podcast to try
Are
and
you
attract
asking that from a
brides,
marketing point of view for a wedding photographer?
Yeah. In some ways, yeah.
I mean, you could. I don't think it's be the best use of time.
It's just the problem is there are so many podcasts now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how many photography podcasts are out there now, but I think there's a few more. But I just don't think they get the coverage
Who are they
as much
serving
anymore.
as well? It's like I don't know if bride or grooms or grooms, bride or brides, whatever, like really switch into that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you have to you have to have something to sell.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we said.
Yeah, I think if you're a photography educator, so if you're targeting other photographers, then yes, but not if you're just targeting.
And
brides or
even
grooms or
then,
families,
you know, it's a lot of work, as you know.
Oh God,
It's
yeah.
so much work, and that's one of the reasons why we've paused it indefinitely, because we just need a little bit of time to concentrate on other things that we're doing. You know, so.
I mean, you're putting a pretty good shift.
Yeah.
5 years of doing it.
Yeah.
And, through 100 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the stat that I think we heard this a long time ago, wasn't it? That like such a small percentage only make it past 5 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Really, 5 episodes?
Yeah, it's hardly
Wow.
anything
I
because
can't-
there's a certain amount of podcasts. Yeah, but I think
I'm
there's
gonna
like
plot numbers
80% of them have less than 5 episodes.
Yes.
So I don't know the exact.
Yeah,
stat
I
either.
think we know we're in the top few percent of podcasts for listenership.
Yeah.
So, which is amazing, really.
yeah, it's incredible.
I was also determined that we wouldn't. Have you heard of pod fade? It's where just a podcast just fades out, and so you go on and say, "Oh, they haven't recorded for 2 years," and I really didn't want it just to fade out, and that's not. So I was like, I want to go out with a bang. I want people, if they come to it 3 years later, go, "Oh, right, this was their final episode," and they did sort of shut it down. I just didn't want it to fade out and be one of those things that's kind of hanging over your shoulder. People are like, when's your next series? Like, oh, we're going to get round to it. I just wanted to do it properly and finish it. And like we said, we might be back for the odd one each Christmas. but
Yeah.
that's
You're
it,
keeping it very open, and I like that about it.
Yeah, I don't like to close things off totally. You know, you never know. Do you? Never say never. So, and also the fact that our brand is still going. It's good marketing.
Yeah.
If we need to, you know, talk
I mean, the
about
content
something.
still sits there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
that's the
those
brilliant
episodes
thing
are still
about
there.
it.
People can still go and listen to it.
Yeah.
We'll still find
And
it
they
for the
do.
first time and binge it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
We still get messages from people going, "Oh, I've only just found your podcast."
Yes.
and I've just listened to the one where you said you finished.
but it's okay. I've got 82 still to go.
Studio Ninja, Igor.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm off again. But I just wanted to talk about one more thing, because I think, and I'm not here to criticise one of our sponsors, but I think they're missing a trick.
Ooh, shots fired. Tell us what
so
you
think. It claims to be designed by photographers for photographers, which it is. It is designed by photographers for photographers. So I'm not arguing that. But it's not just for photographers.
That's it. So much
I just
more.
think it's for anybody that's in a service-based industry. This piece of software is invaluable. I've had friends that are MUAs, hairstylists, florists, stylists. You know, you name it. I've had them all reach out, and I've given them sort of guidance and setting them up that have gone on to use Studio Ninja and like, this is invaluable for our business.
Yeah.
So if Studio Ninja are listening and watching this back, might want to think about who you're targeting it to, because actually I think they're missing a trick. I think there's a whole market. There's a whole market out there that, you know, you don't just need to be a photographer or a videographer in the wedding industry. If you are a service-based industry and you've got clients or couples, whoever they may be, and you need to book people in, you need to send them automated emails, invoices, you know, the system and the software is there for anybody to use in whichever business they're operating in.
Yeah, get Studio Ninja.
There you go. So what's the discount code, Igor? You should know it by now because I've told you a few times.
Let me see.
I wonder what it could be.
I'm guessing. I'm joking. It's another idea. It's that simple. So if you go to Studio Ninja, type in that at the checkout, and you'll get 50% off for the whole year, and you'll get the first month free.
You get the first month free, and then another idea gets 50% off their first annual subscription.
There we go.
There you go. Sorted.
Go get it.
Every week that people are just tune in for the first time.
That's it.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
But I think that the point you make about, you know, like turning up, it's like we all know it as relatively established business owners that like the power of consistency is as important as anything, isn't it? You know, and if you aren't consistently showing up for your podcast, it's only going to peter out, isn't it? But we know that from a business. If like as a branding photographer or educator, you don't keep showing up, it's never going to be there.
You know, I heard it fairly recently when people said consistent isn't constant, and I think that's what we did. Although we didn't record that many a year. I mean, by the end, it was like 16 a year. We'd do 2 series of 8. It's not that many, maybe less than that.
I think it was less than that.
But we'd tell people when to expect us. So we'd say we're taking a break now for 4 months, and we'll be back in the autumn. So it doesn't matter if you're not constant, as long as you have got some consistency and people know what to expect.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Any skills that you've learned over the years from podcasting? Because I guess...
I was thinking of hula hooping again for some reason. I don't know why. What's going on with my mind today?
I think listening...
There's never a dull moment, is there? There's never a dull moment.
I'd love to be in Eddie's head. Yeah, I think listening skills. So I love talking. I've never been quite so good at listening because I like just chatting. So I think it's that listening, but I don't
agree with that, by the way.
She likes talking too.
She likes asking questions. So you
that's
like
true.
Listening.
But I think then quite often I'm thinking about my next question. So it's active listening.
Okay,
isn't it?
That's exactly it.
So it's trying to.
It's a real skill, isn't it?
Yeah, real skill. Because especially at the beginning, I heard you talking about this, Sam. I think both of you were saying at the beginning, when you first start doing it, they'll answer, but you're thinking about your next question because you don't want to silence.
And where you want to lead the conversation to. And
It's actually much more relaxing being this side of the mic, if I'm honest, because I don't have to think about the next thing. I know it's coming from you.
Yeah, you can tell in the back of your mind.
I'm not excited about that. Can we switch?
I know, it is nice, actually. It's just you've suddenly got a clear mind. You're like, you know, there's so much, we can see like behind your eyes, you're going, what's going on?
There's a couple of things, isn't there? The first thing is that you don't realise just how like draining it is.
Yeah.
You know, like emotionally and mentally, like just you switched on for like an hour and a half, just trying to articulate your thoughts and then guide, like you said, guide the conversation.
Yeah, being a really good interviewer is a skill, and definitely that's something we've learned to do, and that active listening and that constructive conversation.
Yeah.
So, and that's not something that everyone can do.
When you see either YouTubers talking to camera or, you know, TV presenters like interviewing somebody, it's very natural. You're like, oh, you bastard.
Yes.
You're like dead. It's like dead easy for you, isn't it?
Yeah. They make it look easy, but actually, it makes you watch an interview and go, wow, you're really good, because actually you might have had some questions planned, but you've gone with what they've said.
Exactly.
And I love that. Like, I was always thinking that with Graham Norton, actually. He just seems to go with whatever is being talked about. And
flows like that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So, that is a skill, definitely. We were talking about that.
On the train?
Yeah, on the train. I've forgotten. Not memory hasn't increased. That's not something that's happened from the podcast.
Yeah, definitely active listening. And I think just our confidence in terms of skills, our confidence, like I said earlier, our confidence just grew with it. And I think it just made me confident in lots of, which is why I'm sort of pivoted a little bit to, because I'm fascinated with the visibility sort of piece of it and Like, I don't think 5 years ago we'd have felt confident enough to come today. You probably wouldn't have invited us if we hadn't done the podcast, but you know what I mean.
No, you'd
we
be like,
wouldn't have.
Eddie,
We would have. I mean, it's
Judd,
still stepping slightly
Vicki
out of our
Knight.
comfort zone that we're going on YouTube. That's like,
Yeah.
But voice, absolutely fine. But I think we have gained confidence to put ourselves out there and actually put our opinions out there
Yeah.
and be
Come on.
vulnerable as
Yeah.
well. You know.
Yeah, we've got over a bit of imposter syndrome, definitely. I was really, really nervous to talk about that I train photographers in Lightroom, because there's so many photographers that are amazing at editing in Lightroom, but I know that there is a market out there for me. So I've had to get over that, you know, that those people that are amazing at editing, they are not my client. You know, so just remember that. And it's just, it's definitely a confidence, and getting over what other people think is a huge, big step, I think.
I think sometimes you can. This
I
sort
think
of,
we're all guilty of that, aren't we? Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
worrying too much.
yeah, and because not in our industry, we're not about to get cancelled. We're not like Piers Morgan or something. But there's this cancel culture though, and you
Cancel
panic.
us.
You panic like, what if I say the wrong thing? Like, especially because we would be chatting, you know, for an hour. And you think we're going to say things that people disagree
Yeah.
with. We're not hugely controversial or anything, but we probably say things that people are like, oh, really? And it's having the confidence to stand by what you believe and saying that. The one thing I do love about podcasting is I find it like quite a safe place to say things, because people aren't commenting or
no one
liking
listens.
it. No,
No one
one listens.
Nobody's here.
But on the
us.
downside, you don't know who's listening, do you? It's
Yeah.
not like putting something out on Instagram. But
Yeah.
it feels safer than just putting an opinion out on Instagram and then waiting for comments.
Yeah.
So I think we felt really comfortable putting things out.
I think you do have to let go of what people think, and just I always find myself going, well, do you know what? If someone disagrees with me, that's fine. They're allowed to disagree with me.
Yeah, we're all allowed
Not-
our own
you
opinion.
know,
Yeah.
absolutely. And if someone has a problem with your viewpoint and doesn't understand that you're allowed to have a different viewpoint,
Yeah.
well, stuff them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Off.
Yeah, Sam, bite that one up.
Stop
Murder on
it.
the case. I was going to say something a lot
Exactly.
worse. I had to hold it
Yeah,
back as well.
exactly. Stuff them. It's
I already
kind
said
of
a
a bit
naughty word
tame,
earlier.
to be
I
honest.
can't say two in an episode.
Yeah.
What about
We swear.
Oh, you can do what you
So
want.
when we swear, no, we're normally really good.
Yeah, we're really
I mean,
swearing.
we're really
but
hot.
we
As
never.
soon as we get together over a glass of wine, we're terrible. As soon as the mic comes out, we suddenly turn into like proper ladies. I don't know why.
From Kent and Sussex.
Oh my days.
Sorry, I put you off, Igor.
No, it's great.
He's getting it
This
back.
is great.
He's getting it
Yeah.
back. Let's all watch him.
I was going to say that, what about your businesses? Have you found that your businesses have changed over the years since you started the podcast? And yes,
Yeah, well, they
how?
have massively changed, because I guess for me, my journey was families, and then, you know, you kind of feel like, oh, you're supposed to go and do weddings. And I went to do weddings. I was good at weddings, but I really didn't enjoy weddings. And I wasn't doing that many, maybe 15 a year. And it was great when the kids were younger, because it'd be like, great, I've got the Saturday off, bye. But as they get older, you feel like you're missing out. So I wanted to get rid of that. And then I think because we got the confidence and got more confidence for educating, I was like, okay, I can really step this up now. And then luckily the personal branding genre has just massively grown, hasn't it? So, and I've always been a portraiture photographer since I was at uni. So it's just something that seems like the right place to go for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think in the last 5 years, I think that's the big change for both of us. Like we both kind of started, I was doing a lot of family photography and personal branding on the side, but I think especially because of the pandemic, a lot of people have set up their business that hadn't before. I don't know, people are posting more photos on Instagram. It's just more, but everyone, if you're an entrepreneur, then you need personal branding photos. And that just seems to have taken off. So that's how it's changed a lot. And then we're training photographers in that as well.
Yeah, so we're thankful for social media in a way, because actually that
I
has
don't think it'll ever
grown
change.
personal
I think
branding.
it's only always going to keep growing.
Yeah.
There's only going to be more people that come into the industry. You know, we talked about it with one of the very first guests in Sophie, saying that your market and your audience is always shifting. There's always new people coming in, there's people going out.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and we think about our industry and wedding photography. I know, you know, such a wave of people coming into it, and I know there's loads of people that have had enough and moving on and doing different things. It's like it's always cycling through, isn't it?
There's so many. I mean, I think somebody said that there's more wedding photographers than taxi drivers in the country once.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that. I mean, somebody said that a long time ago. I wouldn't be surprised if it's much more now.
Yeah. No, I
So-
completely agree, because the entry level is so low.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's a bad thing, but the entry level is so low you can literally just start it, really.
and if
you really
you're
wanna...
good at branding as well, like there's a massive need, isn't there, for strong imagery now for any company,
Yes.
business, whether you're a solo person or you've got a team of people. And although photography now is more accessible than it ever has been, there's
That's what's
there's
helped
a lot of crap out there.
Yeah, but that's
So
what's
actually, it
helped.
helps you stand out.
Yes,
because
exactly.
You're going, well, look at what I can produce and create.
Yeah.
You know, when people go, "Oh, you're not worried because everyone can take photo
Yeah.
on an iPhone
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
days." It's like, yeah, thankfully, because actually it makes them realise that they can't take a good photo
Yeah,
on an
and it is a
iPhone,
skill.
even with portrait mode.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
so
So
yeah,
you're funny.
that's so funny.
So with 100 episodes under your belts, any favourite guests that you've had?
Obviously, you two. I mean, that's it.
Well, yeah, they're sitting
Everyone
here
else
today.
paled into insignificance.
I can't
when we had
remember
you two
anyone
on.
else.
Yeah.
Like
any
standout moment.
Yeah.
Was there anything that
stand-up
really
moments
kind of
or topics
did
that you
anybody,
sort
did
of
anybody
like...
shock you? Sorry, I've stolen your question.
Shocking.
That's
Like-
okay. That's,
Yeah,
that's
like-
good.
James
Riffing.
Rouse, when he, had his embarrassing
the wee
story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big James Rouse fans here.
yeah.
He weed in the car. Just to, that's. I've given you the punchline now.
You have to listen to that episode, but now you know what happened. So
When we were travelling and interviewing before the lockdown, we started doing a lot of them online. We had some really lovely, because we were interviewing all over the place. So in really odd,
amazing. So you
odd
literally-
places. So because we
going
literally have our
everywhere
little
around the
bites,
country.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, so the standout moment was, this sounds like I'm like name dropping a little bit, but we're in California.
Yeah.
I sat round. We weren't as hot on the
we don't
audio
have
as you guys.
because
so
we
were
couldn't
just sat
take
around
a load of
fire.
equipment
Yeah.
because we were going to America. So we had like a little Ixie
that
microphone,
was it, just
Rode
on the-
Ixie plugged
Wow.
into
Just
our
literally on the
phone.
phone. That was it, with
Yeah.
3 of us round it.
Yeah.
I know.
None of
Sam's
this.
like, what? He feels
And
a
it
bit sick.
sounded okay.
It didn't sound
Yeah.
great, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And we were sat around the fire pit, weren't we, with Elizabeth Blank? And I always remember that. It's like, wow, I thought, God, I've arrived. Check me out.
Made it.
Yeah, stuff like that. Was just all the fun ones.
Yeah.
Like the ones we really had a laugh in, like Angela Brown. She was just
Yeah,
really,
she's got
really good fun.
Great.
Yeah.
great
And
crack.
then we'd have really deep ones like
Like Kelly Balch, we know
Yeah.
we met people that we just never would have met, especially when we started doing them online. Because then at the beginning, we sort of interviewed everyone in Surrey, I think. Because we were like,
oh, damn it, we've
just
run out of
meet you
people in Surrey.
And then that's why we started going to conferences, so we could get lots of people that had travelled internationally. But then when we started doing them online, we could just reach out to anyone. So yeah, we had some fascinating conversations. With
we
people.
didn't have the confidence that people were going to just come and see us like
Yeah.
you guys.
We're not quite at the stage yet where we can afford to fly people in from the States,
Yeah,
are we?
that's it.
That's not happening.
No, we had to fly to them.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the business. It's fine.
Yeah.
Shh. No, I'm joking.
Awkward silence.
Any other standout moments? I'm trying to think.
Well, I loved because we decided right from the beginning, similar to what you guys did. We didn't just want only photographers, so we had a mixture of photographers and experts. And I really loved the more kind of mindset ones, the more vulnerable ones, where people would really open up. And they're always the ones that we got the most feedback about. People are like, oh my God, I listened to that. It was amazing. Really made me rethink things and realise I'm not alone. And we had some really gorgeous comments from people,
Yeah.
didn't we? So they're
Yeah,
the
it
ones
meant
for
a
me
lot.
that, when people really opened up to us.
And you
We
can't-
weren't
you
sure
can't really
how-
plan for that when you start your podcast, can you?
No.
You really can't. No.
We weren't sure how they would react, and when you start getting comments like that, really meant a lot to me. Thank you so much, and then things. I think the more standout things are the comments that we get from the listeners. So people are like, I was too nervous to start out by myself, but your podcast has made me go freelance, and we're like, oh God, the responsibility.
Eddie and Vicki made me do it.
Yeah.
And then people were saying they listened to us on the way to shoots to calm them down. I was like, I don't think we're the most calming people around, but okay.
Yeah, and just it's people that have commented that it's helped their mental health.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. That
And
really
that's why we
does.
felt a bit guilty about stopping it. 'Cause we
Yeah.
were like, we know this makes such a difference to people, but we were like, you can just carry on listening, it's fine. But
It can't have been an easy decision to make.
No. Yeah. No, it wasn't.
because it's been fun, and we will miss it. But when we really miss it, we'll record something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just me saying stupid things. That seems to entertain people.
When did you sort of like start thinking about pausing things?
about a year ago or so.
Probably,
And I
yeah.
think we both just wanted some neat numbers. So we were like, it's coming up to 5 years, coming up to 100 episodes. We didn't want to finish before because we could see we were getting close to the 250,000 downloads. We didn't want to stop a year before all of that. So as soon as we saw that all coming, we thought we could carry on another year or something, but it just felt quite neat to finish it all then and to sort of say these stats and go, we've got to this, got to that. So it just made sense at that point.
I think it did. And I think, you know, we'd interviewed so many amazing people. It was always a bit of a juggle every series. It's like, right, make sure we have a family photographer, a wedding photographer, an expert, something different. So it was all, there was so many people that saying, can we come on your podcast? But it was always really difficult to juggle that as well. So that was really hard to do, actually. So
yeah, that was always the difficult part, beginning of each series, going, right, let's look at who we've got. I'm sure you have the same
Did you drop any
things.
clangers?
How do you mean?
Did you mess up at any
Within-
point?
oh my, are
Did
you
not record?
joking?
Loads of times.
We've always messed up.
Normally, like our Wi-Fi, just so many times.
You know,
everything.
Oh, yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
we mess up all the time. But then we became confident in the fact that actually that didn't matter.
Yeah.
So
That's where I was going with it. It's like,
yeah. Or like I tried a new microphone and I think I plugged the wrong cable into it, and it wasn't until after we'd done the interview that I realised that my sound was terrible. So it was obviously because of the cable. It's like, oh, for God's sake, you know. And then or Vicky's Wi-Fi just really not working. That's the thing when you do Zoom ones.
Yeah.
You can't, you just don't know what Wi-Fi is going to be like.
I think I once did one over Zoom and streamed it through my camera, but put the microphone jack into the headphone socket.
I know what you mean.
Right.
So it just went through the camera's audio rather than the microphone that I've got and set up. But I was like, I didn't even realise till after the recording.
After,
Classic,
yeah.
that old chestnut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband's a cameraman and he always goes, see, this is why you should listen. You should have headphones. I'm like, there's no time. You know, I can't do that.
It is nicer to do them in person. So I think you made the right decision.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love this.
Oh.
You don't need to answer this question, but I'm going to be cheeky.
Okay, can we go?
Did we say what time?
What time are you at Revolution?
Yeah. I was sort of thinking, should I ask it? Should I not? No, I'm going to ask it.
Committed now.
Yeah, exactly. But being business partners, have you ever fallen out?
Not fallen out. We always say we're like sisters. We bicker.
Yeah, we are
do
like
bicker.
sisters. If we get really, really annoyed with each other, we'll send a GIF,
Yeah.
basically. And then it's kind of like a little sign like,
Okay.
fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, is she allowed to say that?
Aggressive gift. Okay.
That can be the soundbite.
It's all right.
That's me panicking. Can she say it? Can she say it?
Anything else you want to get off your chest? Eddie?
Oh my God. I am really quite swearing.
Whilst we're-
He's
whilst we're
asking
here.
about our relationship, friendship.
Dr.
and use
Denman,
that-
Dr.
Yes,
Decker.
fuck off.
That's it. Dr. Denman, Dr. Docker, ready to see you.
But I think we said that in our final episode, didn't we? That it wouldn't work with many people. Like it's such.
No.
You guys will know it's such a close relationship. I mean, we're messaging all day most days.
Even now.
We're in the middle of a
Yeah.
series, and especially now because we've got the retreat in 2 weeks, so all the time we're messaging each other.
If I haven't messaged her back for like an hour, she'll be like, where are you?
And sometimes
Like,
if she
I've
messages,
got
and
a
if I,
life.
she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm out, Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Got a
okay.
life, Eddie?
And it wouldn't work with them, but we can be really honest with each other, and we can always tell if the other one's like not quite. We're like, you all right? Tell something. Actually, having tough
we
times.
do. Yeah,
we sort of figure things out. But because we're friends, we can talk like that as well, which is nice. So we know what's going on in each other's lives as well.
Amazing,
Yeah,
isn't it,
we-
mate?
It's like me
Yeah.
and you. It's good dynamic.
And
No, it's
generally,
really
when
It's gotta
we
be,
end
though.
up going out for a meal or drinks, it'll end up us both crying.
Yeah, normally at the
and
end of
getting
the night,
everything
both
off the
crying, yeah.
chest, and then we'll be like, anyway, now we can work
That was a
together
great
again.
night. Thank you.
We do have fun as well. That makes it sound like we just sit there crying.
No, we have lots of fun, get really drunk, and then cry, but with laughter.
Yeah, good.
with laughter. Oh man. So what's the year looking like for you ladies now? Now that you sort of like pressing pause on things and raring to go with other things that you want to do, what's the year looking like?
So we've got our retreat
Yeah.
coming up at the end of the month, which we're really excited about. And we're seeing how that goes, see if we really do actually fall out this time.
That'd be rubbish, wouldn't it? After 5 years of the podcast, we're on one retreat. That's it. Falling out. Eddie and Vicky aren't talking.
Yeah, so we're hoping if that, I mean, we sold that out within a week. So we
Amazing.
were so chuffed. So we've got plans for that to
You have to
carry
do it
on.
again.
But
You have to do
you've
it
sold
again.
that out off the back of, you know, showing up all the time and doing
Yeah,
your podcast and
that's
building
it.
your own
Yeah.
reputation. And
Yeah.
that's a byproduct of what you've done over the last 4 or 5 years, really,
Thank
isn't
you.
it?
Yeah, and that's what I think we were like, actually, that it felt when we did that right at the end and then it sold out immediately. Our branding course did really well. And we were like, it's all worthwhile. Like,
Yeah.
this is worth
Should have done that
it.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a bit late, but yeah.
If it takes 8 days for it to sell out, the next one will be disappointed. So yeah, we'll be thinking about that, and then for me, I've got one daughter going through A levels, and it's quite intense. So I kind of want to be there for her a lot, and then I'm just trying to find the time to market my store a bit more, which I'm rubbish at. You know, I wish I was good at marketing like Vicki is, but that's not my forte. And yeah, really just working and just being present for my family at the moment, I think.
Hence why you've travelled up to Derby for a night out with
Thank
Vicki.
you,
and
God.
Exactly.
We're off to
Needed
Revolution
some time
tonight.
off.
I'm out. See you in a couple
One
of
night
days.
every now and again, one night a year. This is
We're
it.
going back next week, aren't we? Yeah.
I know we've already talked a bit about the podcast, but just to rewind ever slightly, was there anything that came up in the series or the episodes that altered your business that you kind of took away and was like, oh, that's really impactful for me and for you guys?
Yeah.
Like, was there anything that kind of shaped?
The money ones were it when we
Yeah.
spoke to Richard Leng.
Well done.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure.
You were looking at me going, I'm like, no.
I nearly said Richard Peng. No, that's not right. Richard Leng.
Richard's coming here soon.
And
He's doing a
is
workshop
he?
in
He
the
was
studio.
brilliant.
Yeah.
He
His
is-
episode was one of our top
Wow.
3. It was
Yeah.
top for a long time. It's just been knocked off the top spot, I think, by Laura Jade.
The titles are very powerful, though.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
that we did a
yeah.
bit of a clickbaity title
Titles.
for his. Yeah,
Titles. I'm going to write that.
the truth. You can copy it if you like. The truth about
Clickbaity
pricing. Clickbait titles work. But his one just really made. And I
And
think
Polly,
Polly, the money mindset.
money mindset, really popular
but yeah,
as well.
I thought they
Anything
were-
about money.
He really got me thinking about, it's when you charge a certain amount. So say if you're charging £1,000 for something, it's very easy to think, oh, £1,000. But actually he was like, no, you're getting about 25% of that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you've got to think about. And that makes you so much more confident about your pricing. So that made a big difference to a lot of people, everything he was saying. Sorry, I've probably just ruined what he's about to say in his episode.
No. He's doing a workshop here. He's using
Oh,
the
I
studio.
see. Okay,
Well, we
got
should
you,
get him on.
got
We should
you.
get him on.
You
Yeah.
should get him on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we probably
he
do
was
when
really
he's
good.
when he's here when he's
Yeah.
doing his workshop.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I do think there's a huge raft of photographers and suppliers that do undercharge in the UK.
Without
Oh,
a doubt.
yeah.
Without a
It
doubt.
seems to be we talked about British mentality earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, just please check me out.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
the Americans are like much more like, no, this is what I charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I do think we could all.
And I'm worth it.
and
Yeah.
we could all adopt a bit more of that kind of positive mindset.
Yeah,
and approach towards-
although I have joined a Facebook group recently, God knows why, because it's really doing my head in.
You're not going to say what it is, are you?
Here it comes.
It's definitely mostly American photographers. It's about mini sessions, family mini sessions, and oh my God, they'll do an hour mini session for like $100. It's like, well, one, that's not a mini session, and then they're delivering like 40 photos, and two, obviously that's too cheap. What are you doing? So it is we do tend to think that Americans charge correctly, but actually there
There's
is
a
a
lot
whole
that-
load
yeah.
that
Yeah.
don't as well.
Yeah.
So that was always my view of whenever I looked at family photography pricing. It was always, when I looked at American photographers, it always seemed to be less than, I definitely think the pricing for family photography in the UK definitely has gone down. Like my pricing
Yeah.
hasn't changed for years, but definitely all the competition around has definitely
Yeah, that's
decreased.
it.
Yeah.
It's the market itself, really.
Yeah.
The
Maybe we
spectrum
more
just
of it.
saturated.
maybe we just don't see that side of the American market then. Maybe we just over here we just see the
Yeah.
the
You're
big
probably seeing the
successful
people that are
ones.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
What I said was completely wrong.
You were wrong, Sam.
But, no, you are onto something.
happy to-
Basically what I was saying. No.
No, it is like we probably just don't hear of that. The market that you've just
Yeah.
discussed, like we
Yeah,
probably don't
because
see that.
It's
do
also
very
the
often.
photographers that we're following, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
We'll follow the top tier, really.
Yeah.
You do tend to, when you're doing a photography podcast and you're seeing how you're interviewing and seeing a lot of successful photographers, it can be very difficult because you're like, oh, they're so much more successful than me all the time. So I think that's one of the hardest things we found about
You had to, and
doing
also
the
because we were
podcast.
researching guests, and normally I don't
Yeah.
really look at other photographers that much.
Yeah.
I sort of
It's
look
true.
at other
Your mental
industries
points.
for inspiration. But we were having to look. everyone's really bloody good, aren't
Yeah.
they? You know, and so you're having to research. And actually, since we've stopped doing it, I haven't been looking at other photographers,
No,
which is quite nice.
such a relief.
You're like, never again.
It's like, you know, go out, I charge what I need to charge. I know, you know, I'm paying my own bills, nobody else is allowed to say. And I know I value my own time. And that's the thing that photographers don't do when they're first starting out, right? They just do not value themselves. And then they learn, oh, I can't make this sustainable. And then they get to the stage where they...
I think the mindset point of view from that is that you can look at it and think, oh God, how can I charge what they're charging? There's no way I can ever do that. But I think if you just switch it to going, no, that just shows you that it can be achieved and it can be done, and that people are willing to pay that.
Yeah.
You know, if you can.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think the most damaging thing people do is base their pricing on someone else's, because I've heard that when I mentor people, you know, they say that so often, like, well, I can't charge X because she charged that. She's been in business for 10 years and she trains other photographers, so I can't charge anything like that. But actually, you don't know whether she's doing this as a hobby, whether she's just about to go out of business. She may never have made a profit, and you're basing your pricing on that. That's really
so many variables.
Yeah, so many
variables.
People do that though, because they don't know what else to base it on. So it's So the pricing episodes we did all about really looking at your cost of doing business and actually working out what a sustainable price is for you. Really
I think we've gone on a lot about make sure you value yourself and price properly. You know, that's one thing we've just gone, do this.
Yeah.
Really quite hard on that.
Yeah.
So because it's hard to see people not charging enough and being that starving artist, you know, and going, oh, but I love what I do, I can't charge for it. It's like, no, come on.
Yeah.
You're really good and you need to do this, you know, value yourself. And I mean, when I was trying to get out of weddings, I kept going up with my price to try and stop people booking me.
Yeah.
Kept bloody booking, didn't they?
How dare they?
It's like, oh, well, I can't turn that down. And then get there and go, oh, 3 hours
It's worth
reception.
£1 million though, wasn't it? So
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm a millionaire today.
You'd have come up in your Lambo, didn't you?
Yeah.
But you just...
Oh. I'm dreaming now what car I'm going to get when that actually happens.
Man. I've forgotten my question.
Well, your phone keeps going off, doesn't it?
I had it.
Vicky
we were just talking about.
Vicky was going.
You were
I
active
said about how my business had changed. You haven't
it's
said
about this year. Shall I just?
You take it wherever you want.
So what?
We're so used to
So
it.
finishing the podcast, there was so much I wanted to do in my business, and the problem was every time we'd come up to do a new series, I'm like, oh my God, that's going to take so much time, and I can't do all the things I want to do. So actually, since we stopped in December, I've spent loads of my time, so obviously it's a slightly quieter time of year, apart from family and Christmas and stuff, like rebranding, launching my new website. So that's all now live. I now just need to get my content plan out there. But yeah, so that's all exciting. So I've got lots of stuff that I want to do around the kind of visibility and personal branding.
Have you seen a new website?
No, I haven't yet.
It's very nice.
Is it out there?
It's very nice.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's really
And
good.
I'd had my
Mostly
last
my
one for-
photos.
It is, yeah. Well, not only of me, I don't steal her work. This is Eddie's work, and I'm just going to use it as my own. I have used lots
Vicky.
of lots
Has
of photos.
looks very
she
sharp.
credited and backlinked you though?
I haven't
They're
actually.
a
She hasn't me either.
No.
We agreed
No.
not to though, so that's okay because we have them of each
Yeah.
other.
Ladies' agreement.
Yeah. But yeah, I was pleased to get that live.
Having built a podcast for such a long time, what do you love the most about your audience?
Because
And that was the
we've
question
run
I'd
two
forgotten.
we've run 2 live events, so we've actually got to meet loads of them in person. What do we love most about them? I think so many of them they wear their heart on their sleeve, so that's what they loved about our podcast, and that's what we love about them. And we get sort of messages sometimes that are like this, and they share like everything that's going on for them and the difference the podcast has made, and they're sorry, maybe you want to.
No, I'm just trying to think.
They're sort of. What's the right word? Like their openness to try new things. So in our repeat recs, we always said something new. So I was always saying about new books I'd read or new podcasts I listened to. Actually, someone messaged me just yesterday saying, literally every book I've read in the last few years has been based on all your recommendations. So their willingness to sort of like learn
Trust
new
you.
things,
Yeah.
and trust our opinion is really
People
lovely.
only seem to message me about my throbber comment.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, hold on 1 second.
Did you
know what a throbber
Do you
is?
know?
No.
You know,
Well,
you know the
Here we
Wheel
go.
of Doom.
Wheel of Doom?
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
one
yeah,
on
yeah, the
Mac.
scroll.
That's called
Yeah, yeah.
it's called a throbber.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So
I-
it's the rainbow
yeah.
one.
So I say, if you have a problem with your throbber, just come to me.
Eddie does
Not what
help
I expected
people
today.
with their throbbers.
This is Eddie for you. This is Eddie.
You should have that.
Yeah, I don't
help
get
you with
those
your
long
throbber.
messages about
need
what
that
a
on a
great
t-shirt.
podcast that was.
You need that on a t-shirt, don't you?
Yeah, I can help you with your throbber.
Yeah.
Just use that as a soundbite. That's perfect. That'll get a lot of listens as well.
Will it? I'm not so sure.
The right kind of listeners? I don't know.
No, maybe not.
Different
Maybe not.
audience.
Yeah, so I can't remember what we were saying. Yeah, people message Vicky nice things and they just talk to me about my stupid comments. But they just message me and go, oh my God, I was crying with laughter in the middle of a station or something.
But like that's what makes the podcast though so like endearing, isn't it? Is that you have that relationship and that balance.
Yeah.
If you were both the same, and you know, it wouldn't work, would it?
No.
You know.
Vicky's
And I
a
think-
sensible one, I'm an idiot.
I'm just normally laughing. But at the beginning, we were saying that, like, we used to, our intros were like a minute. And then it was, because I think we thought, oh, no one wants to listen to us banging on about stuff.
But they
and then
did,
everyone was
they
like, we
did.
really loved the bits where you're chatting.
Yeah.
So we ended up, sometimes that'd be like 15 minutes at the beginning of us just waffling on
Once
about
we,
stuff.
we're like, what should we talk about? I don't know. Let's just say hello and then go into the
And then
interview.
we'd end up
half an
chatting
hour
for ages,
later. Yeah. So something just happens sometimes, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Look, you can tell we love to talk, right?
It's great.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going.
We've been here for 3 hours already.
Not
Is
yet.
that- we missed our dinner reservation, that's it.
Oh my days.
It was never going to be a dull episode, was
No,
it?
no. I knew it wouldn't.
No.
I knew it wouldn't be a
They're
dull
now,
episode.
thinking, actually, maybe we do need to edit this now because they've just
Yeah.
been talking about throbbers.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
And they learn something new because
Well,
it's
exactly.
factual.
It's actually factual. I'm not making it up.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't actually Googled it. I don't want to Google it. Can you imagine?
Google it.
Do we
I'm
step in
telling
and
you.
intervene, or do we just let them?
I'm telling you,
just
it's
take-
I'm
we just-
telling you the
taking over.
truth.
We go through this for half an hour.
Go to an ad break.
And Studio Ninja. No, I was going to ask that. Obviously, you have built an incredible audience, and even though you're pressing pause on things with the podcast, in terms of the brand itself, do you still want to keep it going, or
Yeah,
do you want to?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so through
Yeah.
the retreats, and we don't plan on, the website's still there, and we've got lots of information on there, and we've got our posing guide and things like that.
Yeah,
so the
we've got
brand is
we've
still
got a
there.
brand, a personal branding course, art and what's it called? The art and business,
Business of
personal,
Branding Photography.
That's it. And a posing guide, and I've got a family posing guide. You've got a family
There's a
prompt
lot there.
guide.
Yeah, there's loads.
Yeah, we've got
The Igor's saying don't list it all out.
No.
Sorry, but I'm
please,
listing
please
it.
do.
Yeah, keep going.
We've got
People need to know.
we tried Patreon for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
experimented
How'd
with
that
that.
go?
No, not really worth
Is that when
it.
you're doing like the extended chat?
Yeah, I can't remember if we
Yeah,
did that
yeah.
with you guys. So we had it. How long did we do it for? A few years. And actually,
Couple-
I've seen a
no,
few
only
other
a couple of
business
years.
owners have experimented with it because we wanted to have a way that we could have kind of a membership.
Yeah.
And they were getting something more out of it. But there was always that guilt that, and we used to always just pause it because we were doing it in series, and especially when we started doing less, we thought we can't keep charging them a
Yeah.
£5 every month when we're not putting any content out. So we just keep pausing their subscription.
Yeah.
And we just felt like we weren't giving enough. They'd get sometimes guests would really give loads of value in that
Yes,
15 minutes.
yeah.
Other times, not so much.
And also, it's just
And-
extra work
Yeah, it
for
was
us.
a lot of
You know, it's
extra
like, right,
work.
figure out where the end and the start and the end of that.
Yeah.
Extra money to pay to our editors because
Yeah.
we used to edit it ourselves.
Yeah.
But then we passed it over to an editor, which became much easier. Obviously, gave us some of that time back. So in the end, we were like, actually, this isn't worth
working.
it. Yeah. So, but anyway, those extra bits you can now buy for like, I don't know, what is it, like £20 or something.
Yeah,
and it's
something like
like
that, 15
4
quid.
hours worth
Yeah.
of content.
Yeah.
So we just decided to take
I find
it. And,
I find Patreon a really hard channel to kind of.
Yeah, I think it's
my
good
head
for
around. I think you've got to have a
groupies like the
big-
music
you've got to have a big
industry.
You've got to have a
as well,
really
yeah.
big, I think for
Yeah.
like celebrities or.
'Cause I think part of it is that people that straight away only expect to pay 5, 6, 7 quid.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
To scale anything at that price, you've got to have a huge like a hugely engaged audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And we
for
got
20 quid a month.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, is it?
Yeah.
No, we'd have to be delivering extra stuff, and we just didn't have.
And I felt
the
we always
time to
felt
do
quite
that.
bad because there were, are people that love, they just wanted to support us. They were like, yeah, great, of course we'll pay that. But then, yeah, we didn't have the time to put extra content out.
Yeah.
So we just, and I always want to over deliver and make sure people are delighted. And I just felt like we weren't delivering enough to them.
Yeah.
I've played with the idea of it and even created a page and everything else, but yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even show up enough for Instagram,
No.
let alone
I think if you're someone like Sam Hurd,
Yeah.
who literally
Exactly.
lives on
That-
20 coffees a day and is just go, 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 go.
And his
He's got that
Patreon
kind of
is great.
personality.
He puts loads of
He's
technical
so much
stuff out, doesn't he?
so much content. And
he was why we did it, because he said to us, we interviewed him and he went, you've got to do Patreon. And he was one of our first, he signed up, didn't he, bless him? He was one of our first members.
He did.
Yeah, so it was because of him. We were like, yeah, we do it. But he puts out a ton of content, all the
Yeah.
technical stuff that he's putting out all the time. We just weren't doing that.
No.
So yeah, but it's good to experiment.
But
So we were always
yeah.
experimenting with different things.
Yeah.
And seeing.
And how are things now sales wise, now that you've stepped back from the podcast, but like we said earlier, that content's evergreen. It's always there,
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah.
there. It's always searchable. People will
Yeah.
still find it.
Yeah.
You know, is that sort of, I suppose that's like top of the funnel, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, are people still kind of coming through the funnel and kind of
Definitely, we were saying
Yeah.
this as well. So, and obviously, we've got a mailing list on the back of it as well. So, when we do anything new, we can put it through the mailing list as well. But we were saying, like our course, we don't pay to advertise it at all, and we still have people signing up. I would say every week, maybe we've definitely something
I'd
sells
say-
every single week,
yeah.
and we're doing nothing for that. You know, that's just because people must be listening to the podcast.
we really
or
need to get
finding
our
out
courses done.
It's just we were lucky because it was lockdown and
Yeah.
we couldn't do anything else. It gave us that time to go.
To really
Yeah.
hone
You
in
know,
on it.
didn't have any work. It's
Yeah.
like, right, what should we do? Oh, let's do this. And then we did. It sold so well. We were so chuffed with it.
We were saying, with hindsight, what we wish we'd done, because we presented at SWPP convention a few times before we started the podcast and did like a joint talk
On family
And I
photography.
spoke about it. It's one of those things, because I said we should just record that and have it as an online masterclass. We didn't do it. We started the podcast. Had we have had that right from the beginning for like just
Yeah.
30 quid, like
Yeah.
buy our masterclass.
Eddie would have a Lambo.
Could have been, yeah, exactly, yeah. She'd have a Lambo, she'd be fine. But
Not
we
a
should have done
Lambo.
that
It's
right
not
from
going to be a
the beginning.
Lambo. No.
But hindsight's a wonderful
That's all
thing.
Buddy wants. Buddy wants to be a YouTuber with a Lambo, and I'm like, mate. I mean, if you want to be a YouTuber, you go for it, mate. But
No,
it's
I
hard.
want my 1980s Mercedes convertible.
There you
Yeah.
What colour?
Yeah. Dark blue.
Don't ask me what car I want. That's
No,
not my
she doesn't
thing.
have got a clue. What car do you
You
drive?
can tell a car just by its headlights. I'm like, what? How do you know that?
I know.
It's
I used to
impressive.
work on a Formula One magazine, so I
Yeah.
do love my cars. But yeah, that I'll have a 1980s one. We're going off on a bit of a tangent.
No,
sorry.
go for it.
Yeah, or a what is it? A G-Wagon.
Gee,
Yeah.
That's
The
my
Merc wagon.
husband's like.
I can see you in a
You
G-Wagon.
can't have that. They're so disgusting. Or no, what did you say? Or like a truce or
I'm
something.
going to have to Google it. I don't know.
Oh, see, it's just
It's like a Jeep, but
massive Jeep.
Right.
Drug dealer's
Yeah.
car.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
suits me, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For just away from that a little bit, where do you sort of
Why?
take your where does your creativity come from? Like what inspires you both away from just moving away from the podcast a little bit? What inspires you both creatively?
I've always been a creator, an artist. You know, I wanted to be a photographer since I was 10, and then I went to art college. But I don't think that I am inspired by other artists and other photographers. I'm inspired by life, people, architecture, light, but not anybody in particular. I've never known. I'm not a big names person. Vicky will go, "Oh, you know this person." I'm like, "Nope,
I'm
no
not very good
idea."
at that anymore. I used to
Yeah.
be. That was when I used to.
Well, even
yeah.
like business people.
Oh, business people, yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's just what I see is what inspires me really for photography. And just I did the photography degree I did was totally wrong. It was editorial photography, and I realised while I was there that I didn't like taking pictures which had meaning behind them. I just wanted to take nice looking pictures. So aesthetically nice art, really. So it was totally the wrong course. I didn't get very good mark in it. I mean, it was rubbish, to be quite honest, but it got me to the next step, the next jobs that I did. But I can't remember. Oh yeah, I was doing portraiture there, and I loved that, and that has made me just constantly do more portraiture and see what the best light is for people, different types of people, how to get the best out of people. So actually being able to be a portraiture photographer now is like a dream come true for me, really. So that's, but it's just sort of...
That's a common trap that people fall into, though, isn't it? It's like looking at other photographers in their industry and thinking, that's what I need to do.
Yeah. What do you think for you?
So that's why we work quite well together, because we both came at it from different angles. So I started my business because I wanted to run a business, not necessarily because I wanted to be a photographer, which is quite different from most photographers. I think most people thought I loved photography, but I was like, I really want to run a business.
And she's really good at it, which is so annoying because, I trained in photography and she just said, I'll have a business in photography. And it's so good at it.
Oh, thank you.
She's not used to me complimenting.
No, I was going to say, I don't know what to say to that. It's
I was
weird. She's
waiting
normally
for
just horrible.
I was waiting for the extra comment at the end.
I was waiting for
Peg you down.
So I take inspiration. People are my biggest inspiration. So I've never shot to win awards. I don't shoot to, I'm not looking necessarily.
Not an award-winning photographer?
No. I've never entered a photography award. So I shoot, how I'm photographing people is I'm seeing who they are and I want them to look the best they possibly can. And that's what I'm trying to shoot, is so that they look at it and go, oh my God, that's me. So I'm not necessarily thinking, this is going to be an award winner. I've got the composition absolutely perfect. This is so different. And also what inspires, Eddie said a couple of times, I love business and marketing. I'm doing a positive psychology diploma at the moment, like degree level, which is because I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And I'm loving that. That really
Let's you just brushed over that as though it's a nothing thing.
It's massive, yeah.
So I'm doing a positive psychology diploma.
Wow.
But so it's 2 years, and I'm just coming up to finishing the first year where you finish the fundamentals and you get your diploma, and then I go on to the coaching practical side of things. But I've loved it. It's a proper academic.
What spurred that decision?
It was really
you
weird.
never did
it was kind of,
you went straight into work, didn't you?
I had my place at Bournemouth, never went to university, so I got a job at Southern FM down in Brighton, then went to Capital Radio, having a brilliant time. I was like 20 and kept deferring my entry, never went. And so I've always looked back thinking, I really want to do a degree, but I'm not going to leave my family and go and do a degree with loads of 20-year-olds. So I wanted to do something degree level and thought, what would be interesting? I'm fascinated in psychology, but not the kind of psychotherapy psychology, from a positive standpoint. And I looked at the 5 things that they cover, which is character strengths, resilience, authenticity, positive emotions and motivation. I was like, oh my God, that all inspires me and makes me I'm really fascinated in all of that. And I've loved it. It's been totally out of my comfort zone. I'm just finished. I'm just about to do my big presentation, my last presentation. But I've really enjoyed it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it?
In terms of, I know you're both photographers and creatives at heart in some ways, but would you ever see yourself doing something completely different from photography?
I literally don't think I can do anything different. I always say, I don't think I'd even get a job at Waitrose on the till. They'd be like, what skills have you got?
It's true, we're probably...
I literally don't.
Did you listen to my podcast?
I can talk. Radio presenter. I could do that.
Radio presenter. You'd be good at that.
No. Model? Don't know. Don't laugh,
don't laugh.
No, I literally don't think I could do anything else. This is what I do. I'd love to paint again. I think I went towards photography because I thought that there'd be a career there, but really I'm an artist. So, I just...
What's stopping you painting?
Because I didn't think there'd be any money in it. So, but hopefully one day I might paint again. I keep thinking I'm going to, and then I don't have the time. But I paint with light instead. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So I can't remember what the question was now.
What would you do? So if
what would you do?
Well, mine would be like the positive psychology.
Yeah,
so I love
be a coach.
Working with people. I don't want to be a coach. It's got such a bad name being a coach now, hasn't it? But I like helping people. I want to mentor people more. That's why I'm I always want to do my photography though. I can't ever imagine not doing my photography, especially the personal branding stuff. I just love it. So that's why I want to do sort of half and half photography and also the mentoring and the training.
It's
and all
about
of
balance,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like not having all your eggs in that one basket.
Yeah.
And I get bored easily too. So I'm always trying to do something new.
I'll speak from just me, I suppose. I still love weddings and I still see myself shooting weddings for a while, but do I want to be doing them in 10 years' time and doing volume of them. It's not where I see myself. I still like to think I'll go to weddings and be creative. Like, I love the process of shooting a wedding. But
what do you think you could do? What could you guys do if you weren't photographers?
I think it's the same. I genuinely love helping people in their business.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying at the moment the process of starting YouTube stuff. So I know when I came on your podcast, like that, the plan was to start that last year.
Yeah.
But I just think it just never got off the ground. Didn't have the time to commit to it. Whereas now things have started to shift a little bit, and I'm slowly but surely got those cogs, and I'm enjoying the kind of creative process of that. It's still weird. It still scares the living daylights out of me. I still find it super uncomfortable.
Your
But
Instagram videos are all brilliant,
I'm finding it. I'm more at ease with doing that process now and starting. And I think when you can see a little bit of a return in that, not a big return, like you can just see people following or commenting and saying, "I like this. This is good." It makes you kind of go, "Okay, no, come on, I can keep doing this. Keep doing it."
Well, actually, I went to a Reels workshop, Sam, and I was showing everyone your Reels as an example of, like, I wasn't running the Reels, I was there, and everyone, I said Reels then, Reels workshop, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's so cool." So I think they're really good.
Sorry that you didn't get any payment for that.
I wasn't running the workshop, I wasn't using his.
So yeah, no, I think helping photographers. I love what we're doing here, but it is about, in the next year or two, can we have courses and products that we can
YouTube is, my husband always going on at me about, you and Vicky should have done YouTube. Our demographic aren't YouTube watchers. The women don't watch YouTube, really. They'll...
I looked this up the other day, and that's not strictly true.
I wouldn't.
I think it's
45%.
Even as you said it, my head was kind of like tilting slightly to the side, sort of thinking.
It's because I was saying that to Carl and my boys, and then I was like, I'm going to Google it, and it's about 45% female.
Yeah, but maybe not the age bracket that listen to our podcast.
I don't know.
So let's start this to debate.
The difference is that the podcast. So what we do here is a podcast. This goes on YouTube.
Yeah.
Doesn't get anywhere near the volume of views or followers that I've already got on my own personal channel because it's long form content.
Yes. Yeah.
The shorter form 7-8 minute videos are much more easily consumable.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed already through the early days of my channel is that it's a totally different audience.
Yes, yeah.
It's a completely different audience to Instagram or
totally.
How is it different? In what way?
Already it seems more international.
Right.
So like you can tell that the names that are following you are not from Essex,
Derby,
Cody, or very American names or very diverse names.
Yeah.
And you can see that in the comments as well.
Yeah.
So you can just see that it opens up another market, doesn't it?
I think that the millennials and the millennial audience are real YouTube watchers. They really are. My husband literally doesn't watch anything else but YouTube, and he's in his 50s. So, but I never watch YouTube. So it's such a powerful audience. And he shows me constantly, there's this guy, and all he does is like talk about bags that he takes around with him, and and he's got like 1 million subscribers and stuff like that. It can really take off if you get that one hit, that one video that just seems to go viral. Then it's so powerful.
Well, this will be theirs. This is going to go viral, obviously.
Well, this is it. This is it.
I don't know, but
Are you ready?
that one video, like you look at all of the the YouTubers that talk about it, it's turning up every week, being consistent with what you're putting out, and then trying to target the right, title or getting your thumbnail right, and but there's no secret to it.
Yeah,
it's just
my husband watches this one guy. He literally doesn't say anything. It's just him building a cabin in the woods. I'm like, honestly, just what? And honestly, it's had so many views.
Is your husband okay?
No, but it's had so many views.
Yeah,
this guy makes so much money because of the views that he has on YouTube.
I think I know who that is. I think I've seen that.
It's unbelievable.
Is it sort of like kind of...
We wouldn't be able to do it, Vicky. No one would watch us. No.
Is it kind of ASMR-ish?
Pardon?
Is it kind of like ASMR-ish?
No, I don't...
ASMR, where it's kind of like...
ASMR. I thought you said he's a bit Irish. I don't think he's Irish.
No, ish. That was my ish.
No, it's just him building a cabin.
Just literally silent.
Yeah, by himself.
Wow.
I know, and people just watch it, and he's made loads of money because it's him filming
Incredible,
himself.
isn't it? Incredible what's out
it's,
there.
that's what I mean. And this guy that just talks about bags and
Yeah, it just shows
you know,
the power of a niche, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So good luck with that.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
What is the question?
What job are you going to do when you can't be a photographer anymore?
It's definitely education. Definitely education. I don't know. Besides that, I would love to be a winemaker one day, but
Nice.
Yes.
that's well and
You're
far
speaking
off.
to the right audience here.
Yeah. We'll buy a crate.
Yeah. Though, but yeah, that dream seems very well far off.
One day.
Yeah.
Start now and then, you know.
Yeah, but definitely education. It has to be education, really, because it's my strength. It's what I know, really.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So yeah.
Awkward silence. This is
Glad it's not on
Just
air.
do
This is always the problem when you've got 4 people, though, isn't
I
it?
know.
on a
I know.
podcast. It is.
Whose
it does
turn is it?
It's
Yeah.
like who's saying the next thing.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I don't have any other questions.
I do.
I know you do.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
I'm worried
Another
again.
one of these.
It's not that bad. But we kind of like touch upon it, really. And especially on your last episode, you chatted about it a little bit, but just your journey through...
I can't even remember what I talked about in the last episode.
And he just looked at Vicky, what is he going
What is it? What do we talk about?
No, it's nothing bad or anything like
Okay.
that. But just your journey through mental health and spirituality that you ladies have gone through
Yeah.
through the podcast. Just chat to us a little bit more about it.
Well, I think, my woo journey.
Yeah. That's it. Exactly that.
When we first started, I was like, oh, I don't like the woo-woo stuff, wasn't I?
And that was kind of the joke, wasn't it? So whenever
Yeah.
we had people on that would talk about it, it'd be like Eddie would go, "Oh no, not this again," and it was just a joke. And then our listeners
then
would be
it-
like, "Oh, not Eddie. Eddie doesn't like all of that."
And then it became a little bit of I became a bit of a parody of that, you know, and actually I did believe it, but I was going, oh, this woo stuff. And then I thought, oh no, I'm just going to be honest with myself here. And because we started doing more episode about mental health, which we really realised was so powerful to talk about.
We've had a few people say, can we address that in the pod? So we're putting things in place to
Yeah,
talk about
definitely.
it a bit more.
They're the most powerful episodes we did, I think. Some of the ones that we did.
And then when we talk about spirituality, it's not like, you know, I like talk to mediums all the time or something. It's just, you know, and sit there manifesting that I'm going to get jobs, you know, don't do that. Just enjoy that side of it. You know, I'd love to learn more about astrology. I'd love to be able to read tarot. That's something that I just want to do. But it's not like I'm running my life based on that kind of stuff. You know, haven't got loads of crystals in my pockets today.
Go down a bra and stuff. Yeah, I'm just curious. I think, you know, one of my values is growth and learning. And so I'm always curious about everything. So if there's a different aspect to things, I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. Whether I'm going to, you know, believe it or grasp, but I just love everything like that. I'm always happy. So people that we had on that would talk about this stuff, I'm like, oh, tell me more. So that's so interesting.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think it's a really important mindset approach to have, though, isn't it? I can remember for maybe the first 3 or 4 years of being a photographer, almost thinking like, and not in a sort of big-headed way, but almost thinking like I knew best.
Yeah.
And there was something that just changed. I can't remember when it was or what happened, but I was like, no, there's more here for me to learn.
Yeah.
And I think when you can kind of make that switch
Yeah.
and go, no, do you know what?
Yeah.
It's not like a bad trait to have that you want to learn more.
No. It's having a growth mindset. And that's
That's exactly where, you know,
Yes.
a podcast sits, isn't it?
Yeah.
None of us had this when we were in our formative teens, early 20s, did we? And think, you know, the youth of today growing up don't realise just how fortunate they may be.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of generations gone by that have said that. They don't know how bloody lucky they
I
are.
was thinking exactly
You know,
that. I'm like,
but they don't. They have an
Yeah.
unbelievable amount of wealth and knowledge
Yes.
at their fingertips.
It's almost too much, though. I don't know where you
It is.
start.
You
Like,
have to
if I was
filter it
setting up a
these days.
photography business now, it's like we were sort of scrambling around trying to find information. Like, there's a Creative Live thing coming up with Super Ice. Let's watch that. There was nothing really around. Whereas now it must be like, right, where do I start?
Yeah.
So trying to filter that down must also be quite difficult.
Like one of our first episodes was about growth mindset, and I think we were both like, "Oh, this is quite new, all of this." And now it's just not the norm to talk about growth mindset, like you both just mentioned.
Yeah.
So, it has really. I think that's just the UK as well. It's just really changed in our way our mindset is to running a business. It's not just right. I'm doing this and this and this and being arrogant about it. I'm just waffling on.
No. It's good. It's good. Anything that you see within the wedding, I say the wedding photography, but the photography industry that you really like and that you really want to champion and see more of?
I just don't look.
Yeah.
I prefer to stay in my own lane.
Yeah.
So
I think, do you mean from a sort of technical, like the actual work, or actually from the community?
The community.
the community.
I think,
Okay.
the difference from when we started is the community, is that, I see these events happening where they have like 100, that is amazing. That kind of there was SWPP conference and that was it. And you'd have to find your little cliques within that so that you felt welcome, really. The fact that there is now so many different communities out there, I think everyone would feel welcome. And I think everyone does welcome new photographers in with open arms, rather than like, I'm not going to speak to you.
And all around the country as well. Like, I'm thinking about Gather and Grow.
Yeah.
Flock.
Yeah. But there's so many.
And for
events happening
family
everywhere.
photographers as well. Because there was always more for wedding photographers.
This is the thing. We always felt like we're just sort of pulling at the trouser legs of wedding photographers.
There's always been more.
Yeah, and so for family and for branding photographers now as well, which is why we want to go, look, we can lead your community, because there is so much for wedding photographers. And you can feel sort of on the outside if you don't do wedding photography. So I think that's changed.
And it's very female-led, that kind of education in family photography, which is amazing, because obviously there is still an imbalance between in photographers in this country. There's a lot more men than women, but we don't tend to see that because we're not in that industry.
I don't see that.
I don't see that.
Do you not?
No, I think I'd say 60-70% of the people on my course are female.
Because you're the right, you're speaking to the right people.
I don't think
but you go to something like SWPP and it's literally like
they're not
80%
necessarily
men.
like professional photographers, though, are they? There's a lot of hobbyists, I suppose.
Some,
yeah.
No,
I
I've not seen it.
It's how you put yourself out, isn't it? I'd like to think I'm just very open and welcoming to anybody.
Oh
who wants
God,
to learn. And it's
absolutely,
like,
you are.
You can do it no matter who you are, what your background is, where you come from. It makes no difference.
I think we talked about that in your interview.
Yeah.
How being a champion for female photographers is how important that is, and how when we did the podcast, we didn't want to say this is only going to be women that we interview. We, if we're saying we're feminists, that means that we're about equality. So we want to invite men onto the podcast as well. We never wanted it to be
the
just
change
women.
happens when you want men to hear women having those conversations.
Exactly.
Right? If we're just speaking in a little room, we're not changing the opinion of any men. So we've always very much been about welcoming men in, and please listen to these conversations we're having, because that might change some people's opinions, hopefully.
Yeah.
I certainly feel like, although I feel as though the market does have more female photographers in, I don't think they get championed enough.
Yeah. I think at the moment,
some of my favourite photographers in the country are female.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. But it just doesn't happen enough, does it?
No, it doesn't happen.
Championing of.
No, I think I think it feels like we've gone a bit backwards recently. I know that there's some conversations about brands featuring male photographers more, and which just seems so weird.
Wasn't
because
it Nikon a few years ago? It was all, didn't they release like all male ambassadors?
And then some
which seems
conferences
crazy.
having too many men, and suddenly not having women again, and it's why? But hopefully it's just want to have good people talking to people, really, don't you? That's we've never gone, we need to make sure we've got 2 women and 1 man. We've always gone, right, who's going to work for our
idiots.
interviews?
We've always that's the main thing. All nice people.
Are they boring? No, can't have them.
Did you ever record a podcast that you didn't put out?
No, we didn't.
No.
Actually, but we were always very selective about our guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we
So
kind of
we-
needed to know they had
We
personality.
never,
So
we
lucky
never
you two.
chose
We made the
people.
cut.
Yeah.
And we'd always, and that's actually a big message to people is don't just, so with you two, we would have researched you and checked, found some videos or
Yeah.
found some podcast interviews to go, oh, they
She
sound quite
stalks.
interesting.
She stalks people.
I
Yeah.
would never just book someone based on their work.
That's me.
Because
Yeah.
I might not want to do an hour's podcast
No.
recording with them. So yeah, we really did research and make sure that they're really interesting. They've got an interesting story to tell, really.
And even some of the really... Oh, there's a gym upstairs,
Gym
isn't
upstairs,
it?
yeah.
The
That's
gym
the ball
noises.
slams coming
you probably
out.
can't even hear it on the podcast, can you?
We'll see.
Vicky's just jumping out of her skin. Somebody with their weights. Even some of the big photographers we've done, you know, we might have gone, oh, they're a really big photographer and their work's amazing. But they weren't necessarily the most fun person to interview, but they generally were. They had an interesting story.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We do need to hurry up. There's a Zumba class starting in 20 minutes.
Oh,
What? You're going
you've
to?
got to go.
But you're going to? Yeah. Okay.
I'm joking. We're good.
I thought you were actually being serious.
No,
That
we
was
started
really good.
we started
That was
recording
really
this
good.
morning,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Don't want to miss
there was-
it. Your
there
Tuesday
was,
night Zumba class.
There was some DIY construction going on above us,
Yes.
wasn't there, this morning? I was like, oh my
Oh,
lord, I hope
the
that
drilling.
stops.
Oh, the drilling.
But
Yeah.
Okay, the end. Bye.
yeah, see ya.
No.
Where's the Prosecco? No.
It's coming, and you certainly deserve it.
Oh, thank you very
because, yeah. Today's been an eye opening just to really hear your perspective, really, because me and Sam looking at you from afar, and yeah, you've championed a lot within the photography world, really, for the UK, and you've done it early on, and yeah, you've just been a really good example. I think
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
that's the best way of
We
upping
know
it.
how hard it is, don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
we? You know,
It's
so
hard.
to get to where you've got to was an
thank
incredible
you.
achievement.
Yeah.
and you should
Thank
both
you very
be
much.
So
both
all
very
that to
proud.
say, a massive thank you.
Well, thank you
you.
too,
No,
guys. I've been
'cause-
really enjoying listening to you two, and I love what
Yeah.
you're doing. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
us.
Yeah,
Well
we
done,
good?
well done, all of us.
us.
Let's have a big group hug.
We're trying to build a really good industry for ourselves and for other people, aren't we? So,
absolutely.
you know, in a good community. So
And just have
that's
a
all
good
we're
time
trying to
along the way.
do.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's
It has
it's
been
incredible.
a great time.
I can't wait to see where you ladies take it, and I'm sure it'll be amazing. But yeah,
What do you think we should do next then?
I think what you've spoken about is spot on. I think you're not closing it completely, which
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah.
the right thing.
keeping it very open.
But saying that it's coming to a little pause is also like exactly what you said about fading out and it just not coming back. It's kind of like communicate. We talked about it earlier with a previous guest, like talking about just open communication with your customers. Like your audience are your customers, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just letting them know that you're going to pause for a bit.
Yeah.
Don't know how long for, but you're just going to have a break. Just lets them know it's like managing their expectations,
Yeah.
isn't it? They're not waiting for you to come back, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
there might be
Yeah.
a Christmas one-off episode, something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, we do like our Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
Vicky, what was that? What was that Christmas question? That was so funny. And I said,
don't know.
would you rather wear elf shoes
Oh yeah.
or a Rudolph a red-nosed reindeer
Yes,
nose for
elf
the
shoes
rest
or
of your
nose.
life?
I
Okay.
think that's an obvious answer, don't you think?
What do you think?
Elf
Shoes,
shoes?
elf shoes.
Yeah,
Shoes,
of course.
shoes.
Because I could sit here and no one would
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
would they?
no.
You'd wouldn't know I was wearing elf shoes. So.
Which one did you go for, Eddie?
She thought she was surprised that I
Yeah.
thought that was an
Yeah.
obvious. I was, why would you want Rudolph's nose for the rest of your life?
But I suppose just to go back to that point of like what you're doing as well is like that you are now opening yourselves up to some new opportunities. I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's the exciting bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you don't know where it's going to go.
No,
I think
you
you've
just
got a few
don't,
little
do
ideas.
you?
Like there's a few
Yeah.
little things there that you can work
Yeah.
on, but just to take that little break and
Yeah,
to
it gives you headspace to really dream big. And,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's no pressure. If you don't want to do anything big, we
I
don't need to do
love
anything
things
big.
coming organically.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a 5-year planner. I'm not that kind of person. I love it when things grow organically. So we'll see. Yeah, like you say,
Yeah.
never know. Anyone listening that wants to, you know, fly us to California
Yeah.
for a week to interview someone,
you might come back for
Yeah.
that.
just saying.
Shall we go for the last question?
Yeah, if you're far away.
Yeah. So, we like to finish the podcast with one specific question. If you met young 14-year-old Eddie and Vicky, what sort of advice would you give her knowing what you know today?
I would say don't worry so much about what people think. I think most 14-year-olds do, but I think I particularly have my whole life. I've always wanted, I'm a proper recovering people pleaser. So mine would be just be yourself and don't try and fit in so much. And it's fine to be yourself. Yeah, that would be my advice. Just don't worry about what people think.
Yeah. I think I had no self-confidence. I know you don't believe me, but I had no self-confidence when I was
Nobody
younger.
believed you.
Literally, I didn't have any. And I would say, scrap that. Be confident in yourself, and you're great and you're hilarious.
You are great and hilarious.
Yeah, thanks, Vicky. So, be more you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're really wise words to finish on. I think we're all guilty of trying to just caring too much about what other people think.
I know.
And it's a good
we all
quality
know
in some
it.
ways.
We
but
all
yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
I
I mean, you'd be a psychopath if you didn't care at all, right? But yeah, so it's good to a certain extent, but not to just to be yourself in the process and know that people will like you for being yourself, not trying to fit in.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming up to Derby. It's been an absolute blast having you both here.
Thanks for
Thank
inviting
you so
us.
much.
Definitely not been a boring hour and a half, has it, for us?
Definitely not. You
and-
have to keep us on our toes, really.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you to see where this goes as well.
Really
so,
excited.
Yeah.
keep up the good work.
We've said it a couple of times already, but yeah, we're genuinely very honoured to have you here as guests
Oh,
because
thank you.
We've looked at what you've done over
Say
the last
that to
5 years.
everyone.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. We actually don't.
Again, we vet our guests. People are here intentionally because we want them to be here, but we want you to be here because what you've done over the last 4 or 5 years with shoot, edit, chat, repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, did I get it right?
You got it right.
Yeah.
is really admirable, and people. I hope people can really appreciate the work and effort that's gone into what you've had to do, because it is. We found out already, like 6 months in, it's bloody hard, and you've done incredibly well to do what you've done, and yeah, it's an exciting new time and chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people find you individually and collectively?
Do you want to
Really, my store, probably, I should mention. So, Eddie's store. So, you could just search that. You might find some random American store first.
I was going to say, you
Hardware
must be
store.
really good at SEO.
Yeah.
She does
I am there.
in
I
her
do
store,
come
she
up.
does.
Yeah,
She's
I am.
That's
I know,
amazing.
amazingly. I think there was an American hardware store that was
Yeah,
above me,
Eddie's
and
store.
now I'm there. Eddie's store, if you put photography, it would maybe help, but I am there. So, yeah, and Eddie's _store, I think I am on Instagram. And then if you wanted to follow my branding work, it's eddie.judd.branding.
Amazing.
Go and check out my new website, which is vickyknights.co.uk. It's all rebranded and
gorgeous.
redone. And I'm vickyknights.branding. I do have a few Instagram accounts, but that's the one to follow me on for all my personal branding stuff.
And shoot.edit.chat.
Too many dots.
.repeat.
Yeah.
People used to call us that at first. Yeah.
Loads of people
Shoot
would go,
dot
oh, how's
edit.
shoot.edit.chat? And I'm like, it's just shoot, edit, chat, repeat.
Yes.
No dots.
Yeah, so, or you could just type in shoot, edit, chat, repeat, you'll find us.
up.
Yeah, and that's where you can find all our learning stuff.
Are you ready for all the wine now?
Yes, give us all the
Would
wine.
you like a little glass of fizz now?
Yes,
please.
please.
Shall I go and get
Did
a
you
glass
think we
of
were going to
fizz?
say no to that? That's the only reason we've come here.
Yeah,
I'll go.
all the way
You
for
carry on
free
chatting with them. I'm
alcohol.
going to go and get a bottle.
Oh my God, is it actually going on YouTube? Us drinking?
yeah.
You better be champagne, Sam.
Yeah. Have you got champagne, Sam? I'm joking.
No
I'm
cheap
joking.
stuff.
Because we've got this. We've got this argument all the time. Which one's best, champagne or prosecco?
Yeah.
And I'm very much for prosecco.
What about Cremant though?
We've got.
So that's like, yeah.
It's kind of like a
Glasses could be clean.
between, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's a cheaper champagne,
Yeah.
basically, isn't it?
I actually do prefer Prosecco, slightly sweeter.
Yeah.
I'm cheap
Yeah.
date.
How much do I shake it before I?
Don't point at me.
Yeah, exactly. Go all the way over there.
It's all right. It's okay. Do you feel nervous when you
Yes.
do that?
I do feel really nervous. I did this the other day. We went round to someone's house, and I was pointing it at him. I didn't realise, just
There you
chatting
go.
away, and it.
I'm gonna get you cleaner glasses.
Our
next time.
friend.
Terrible. I can't have that.
Oh, I wouldn't have noticed. He can't get us those glasses.
No.
Are we still recording?
I'm not sure. It's been one of those episodes, but no, seriously, fam,
You might
the
still get some
audience,
gems.
you the audience, we absolutely love you.
Thank you. Oh, that's lovely.
If you, if you want to...
Are we pouring our own?
No, we'll sort you out.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll pour it for you.
If you, the audience, haven't connected with Shoot, Edit, Chat, Repeat, please do. Go listen to all the episodes because, yes, me and Sam are there. And
Yeah.
Can you remember any
This is
episodes you
This is a
liked?
bottle of Scalini from Tesco.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, we've never
I
been
don't
sold.
know where it's from, really. Go
I
on,
love the episodes that you've had there with Fair. I've not listened to the
Yes.
last
yeah,
one, to
Fair
the
was
latest
great.
Fair
one.
was
We
great.
got Fair on because of you.
Amazing.
You
Yeah.
said, why have you not had him on? We were like, we should have him on, yeah.
So yes, that's the one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, girls.
Cheers.
Well done.
Cheers. Thank
Very
you. Where's
good.
yours?
I need to go and get the glasses.
Yeah.
I'm all right. You can have one. And
Yeah,
to think.
thanks for suggesting.
He was
Fair.
brilliant.
he's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we didn't have him on because everybody had him on a podcast. It's like, well,
Yeah.
everybody's had him on.
But he was great.
He was brilliant. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Just waiting for me
And
to do it.
There we
Cheers,
go.
guys.
Okay,
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well done, us. Podcast biz.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. What do they need to do, guys? What do they need to do?
Rate, review, and subscribe.
Do all the clickety things.
Lickety,
Thank you very
clickety.
much.